gave out in Scarborough. Came back and it's a lot worse now. Okay, just gonna start it up. I'm just gonna go have a look at the motor. Go and press the clutch pedal. So hopefully that disappears a little bit. Yep. Okay, and I stalled the engine because I hit the clutch. My clutch is totally gone. Engine works great. It's October 21st, 11:03 p.m. I actually restarted. So took out the airbox, some of the lines, drained the fluids, the ECU, pulled out the harness. Today is October 24th. Moving. Disconnected most of the cables. Need to get some bungee cords to hold back some of these wires so I can prepare it from coming out, like all these. Took out the rad and condenser. Took off the exhaust. My Yonica exhaust is no longer there, as you can see, it's missing. Just continuing some of the work I did in addition to the condenser, radiator, and disconnecting the lines and cables is I took off the drive shaft. The header I took out a few days ago. This is the vehicle I bought from Ottawa. Type S 2005. Motor has 200 horsepower with the exhaust and with the converter, catalytic converter. It gives an extra 10 horsepower, so 210 with the whole setup. Has VTEC. They had red lights in it, like it was working properly, so I swapped those over already. I swapped over these knobs here, everything here. These lights were not working in my car, so I swapped all that over. Not too much will be coming out of here other than the seats. As you can see, the seats are in pretty good condition. Steering rack is missing. I'm going to change this. The slave cylinder and master cylinder for the clutch. Where'd it go? It's right here. I might take it out. I need to see if it's the same as the other car. Subframe is missing. Took that out. And over here you can see that I took out the whole strut assembly, right? It's missing there. Nothing there. Everything's on the ground. So this is the strut assembly with the knuckle, the rotor, the caliper. Took that all together. Here's the subframe from the other car, the Ottawa car. It's stronger, it's more solid. I think these are the Type R control arms here. The sway bar is actually thicker, and steering rack is made a little bit more tighter and responsive. So it's better handling and better control on the road. So a major difference between these two is this one has a power steering oil cooler, the ignition system itself, and I'm gonna have to swap the whole ignition from that vehicle to this vehicle with the immobilizers. I was talking about removing the ignition and switching over to the key. I've already done so. This is the one from the Type S in my base model. So to use the die grinder with the cutting blade, and what I did was I made an incision right here and one right here, and then I used a screwdriver to turn this out. I put a lock washer on it and mounted it, tightened it up. Look at that. Oh yeah, yo, it's going in. All right, just wrapped up. It's in, bolted up, all four mounts. Let's try it. Moment of truth. Okay, I'm just priming it. Actually don't hear the fuel pump. Oh, let's see. Oh, fuck. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, there's no fuel. Attempt to crank it and fire it up, but it didn't work, unfortunately. So the reason for that is this. This is my ECU, the one that came with the new motor. Now, the wire from the engine to the internal harness, the floorboard harnesses, they are not the same. So they're different. The wiring's totally different. If I jump the fuel wire and I manually prime the fuel pump, the car will fire up and run, but there's nothing on my dash. Like I don't have the RPM, I don't have the wheel speed sensor, I don't have any of the lights. It's starting and movable for the time being. So it's January 10th today, 2020. I actually finished the car and have been driving it around for quite some time. I finished it about the second week in December. And what I did was the manuals and matching up all the wires and rewiring everything from this car into the harness of the new car. So yeah, the car is running beautifully. I mean, I have my car back. So these lights were all out on this car. What I ended up doing was replacing all these as well. All these I replaced as well. I had to solder the light into this piece here. So that was fun. I actually ended up burning my hand because I forgot about the soldering machine and grabbed it. So this is what it looks like with the fogs on. So last time I did this, it wasn't in my favor, but this time, check it out. I can hear the fuel pump priming. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but here we go. Type S in the base. Yo. Well, thanks for watching everything. I probably won't do it again because it was a lot of work, and at some point, wow, I'm dark. And at some point, I stopped enjoying it. The only thing that kept me going was you're building your own race car, and I was really happy about it. So yeah, the first step was to upgrade the motor and the transmission. So that's step number one. Now what I'm going to start doing is little things like tweaking the motor itself.